Hello and welcome to cEDH Portuguese League. We are a group of Commander players that are promoting and organizing cEDH tournaments in Portugal. Today, we bring you one of the semi-finals from our last tournament. If you haven't seen the first 3 rounds yet, you can find the links in the description below or by going directly to the SplitSecond YouTube page to watch them. Thank you very much, and we hope you enjoy. The first player is Gia, and he's playing a Tymnakraum blue farm deck which consists on assembling win cons with 1-card enablers such as Ad Nauseam or Intuition. This deck also uses a lot of mana rocks to power out early wins. After his mulligan, he kept a hand with a Bloodstained Mire, a Scalding Tarn, an Underground Sea, an Underworld Bridge which is part of his combo, a Dragon's Rage Chandler to grind out for an LED, and a Channel Vapor in case he needs some interaction. Our second player is Danilo. He is piloting an Ukima Cazur food chain list that seeks to win by landing food chain and then using his commander primarily as an outlet to win the game. The deck also uses a lot of forbidden tutors to enable early strong wins such as Demonic Consultation or Plunge into Darkness. Danilo kept his first hand with an Underground Stadium, a Bloodstained Mire, a City of Brass, an Underground Sea, a Boreal Druid and a Birds of Paradise for ramp, and an Eternal Scourge. Our third player is Late. He's playing an Anje Falconwrath Madness deck which seeks to quickly assemble an infinite loop with a reanimate effect and a World Gorger Dragon, and from there drawing out his entire deck with his commander. Late also kept his first hand with a Snow-Covered Mountain, a Marsh Flats, a Fiery Temper to filter through his deck with Anje, a Red Elemental Blast for protection, an Entomb to tutor for the World Gorger Dragon, a Wheel of Fortune in case he runs out of gas early, and a Clawson Curio as a secondary win con. Our fourth player, Fabio, is playing a Godo Helm deck that consists on explosive turns to play his commander, fetching for the Helm of the Host, attach it to Godo, and creating this way infinite attack phases. Fabio too kept his first hand with 2 mountains, an Imperial Recruiter and a Gamble to fetch for some fast mana generators, a Red Elemental Blast and an Abrade for interaction, and a Thran Dynamo to ramp. Gia won the role and is starting first. Let the game begin. Gia starts by playing a Bloodstained Mire, fetches for a Volcanic Island, and plays a Dragon's Rage Chandler for later grind. Danilo, on his turn, plays a City of Brass followed by a Birds of Paradise. Pedro only plays a Marsh Flats and fetches for a Badlands and passes in case he needs to use some interaction. Fabio starts his turn by playing a Mountain, and then he plays a Gamble, looking for a way to ramp. He ends up discarding a Red Elemental Blast. After that, he plays a Mana Crypt, to which Pedro responds with an Entomb. Since no one has any responses, Pedro then resolves his Entomb, putting World Gorger Dragon into his graveyard, and with that, the Mana Crypt resolves and Fabio passes the turn. Gia starts his turn by playing a Scalding Tarn and fetches for a Tundra. And after some threat assessment, Gia decides to attack Fabio for 1 damage. Danilo untaps and plays an Underground Sea, and continues to ramp by playing a Llanowar Elves, and after that, he passes the turn. Pedro untaps, plays a Snow-Covered Mountain and decides to pass once again in case of some interaction is needed. On his turn, Fabio untaps and plays a Mountain, but suddenly he realizes he forgot about the Mana Crypt trigger. He rolls a die and he escapes from the crypt damage. With the trigger resolved, he plays a Thran Dynamo and ends his turn. Gia untaps and plays an Underground Sea and takes a moment to decide. He ends up playing Tymna the Weaver. He tries to grind a bit more by attacking Fabio once again for 1 damage and triggers Tymna's ability to pay 1 life and draw a card. On his end step, Danilo plays a Plunge into Darkness. Since no one has any answer, he pays 28 life and resolves the Plunge into Darkness, putting a card in his hand and exiling the rest. On his turn, Danilo untaps and plays an Undergrowth Stadium. After a moment, he proceeds to play Food Chain. No one has any answer and the Food Chain enters the battlefield. Danilo exiles his Llanowar Elf to the Food Chain, taps his Birds of Paradise and attempts to play the Eternal Scourge. Once again, no one has any answer and Eternal Scourge enters the battlefield. Danilo is now capable of casting Eternal Scourge from the exile and exile it to the Food Chain, netting 1 more mana each time. This way, he is able to generate infinite mana to cast creature spells, and then he casts Ukima from the command zone and exile it to the Food Chain, triggering it and dealing 2 damage to a target player and gaining 2 life. He can do this infinite times, this way killing the table. GG. Next week, we are going to release the finals of this tournament and it will be a game you don't want to miss. We would like to give a big thank to the SplitSecond for the partnership and thegathering for the sponsorship and providing the place to run our tournaments.